check coming up at T-10. That's 10 minutes to launch. What are the conditions that we need to keep an eye on?
So we are checking mainly two main parameters. First one is the wind. We are checking both the intensity and the direction of it between mainly 10 and 20 kilometers. It's mainly for safety reasons in case of launcher malfunction. And the second one is the lightning risks on ground mainly. It's safe because we have these giant masts that protects the launcher, but during ascent, we don't want the lightning to damage the avionic equipments, for instance, of the launcher. Here you can see the weather station where the team are performing the prediction and the weather forecasts. For this, they are using special balloons carrying instruments that send back information on atmospheric temperature, pressure, or humidity, for instance.
And the weather status panel is green, so that's good news. We are go for launch in the weather department. And the European spaceport is on the Amazonian coast of South America. In French Guiana, it can be pretty hot and humid around these parts, can't it, Aaron? What's the weather like today?
30 degrees Celsius, exactly what you'd expect on the Amazonian coast of French Guiana, which means, yes, Amazon is literally launching satellites from the Amazon. Gotta love that coincidence.
Nice. And look, we've got clear skies, but even 10 minutes ago, it was actually raining, but the clouds have parted, so fingers crossed for a beautiful launch. You can see the water tower on the right-hand side of the screen there. You were telling us earlier, Aaron, about how the water floods the pad. Well, that's where it comes from. Back in mission control, everyone's got their eyes on those status panels that we can see there on the left-hand side. We like those to be green, Samuel.
That's true. It's a bit the traffic light of the launch control center here. They are gathering the health, the readiness of the three main systems across the base that needs to be ready for having the launch happening. So first is the launcher and its ground systems. It's called ensemble de lancement and lanceur. Then second group is the range, which gathers telemetry, radars, the weather, of course, and safety, both on ground and in flight. And last one, of course, is our passengers, Amazon LEO satellites.
Which are quite nicely, neatly tucked up inside the top of our rocket in first class with their seatbelts on, Aaron. What do they look like in there?
This is exactly why we're here. These satellites are the heart of the mission that you can see in the illustration. You can see their solar arrays are all, they folded as they're there, latching on to the payload dispenser. It'll actually in flight happen in reverse order than that. But these satellites include a ton of advanced technology on board. They include the key systems and subsystems that allow them to operate safely and reliably in space. And what's remarkable is that all the technology that you see on these satellites and the technology that you don't see, they're designed and built in-house by the Amazon LEO team, as you witnessed in that film earlier. Remarkable stuff here. And the satellites are going to remain attached to the dispenser until they're all sequentially dispersed and released into space. And the timing of this has got to be precise and the delivery accurate. The dispenser's role is critical for the important job it carries out. And then at the bottom, you can see the new launch vehicle adapter, that V-shaped end of the dispenser, bearing a special burden connecting the dispenser to the launch vehicle.
And seeing those 32 satellites enclosed under the fairing like that, stacked on the vehicle, it really brings home the scale of the mission, doesn't it? Gosh. So here we are, 6 minutes and 24 seconds now to launch, looking across, I believe, from the Vega pad there, which is one of the other rockets that launches from the spaceport, and a nice shot there of what we call the Carno, which is the exhaust pipes, if you like.
Yeah, it helps.
The concrete structure.
Indeed, quite a giant one, which helps pushing away the exhaust gases away to avoid them from being accumulated down the pad.
You'll see that at launch. There's one on each side. And you'll see those fumes and gases coming out of those. You can only see 2 boosters there, but we have actually got 4 boosters on board today.
We confirm.
We can confirm, and we've got 2 yellow things at the top. Those are the cryogenic arms clamping onto the top of the rocket, feeding. There's a close-up of them there, feeding the very cold propellants into the upper stage, which Ariane was telling us about earlier. Right, back here in Mission Control, the Range Operations Manager is now getting ready to announce the beginning of the next big moment, which will be the synchronized sequence. It's Jean-Frédéric Alassa today.
À tous de DDO, attention pour la séquence finale lanceur. Top, H0-5 minutes.
We have the beginning now of the synchronized sequence. It's been initiated, or the automatic sequence, as we also call it. It's the last 5 minutes now in the final countdown, and our rocket's becoming progressively autonomous. There's an awful lot of very, very precise operations happening, aren't there?
Yeah, it's quite a dense step here. We have many operations being run, very precisely timed, combining checks, pressurization of the tanks, activation of different systems and valves. And in fact, the control of the operations is gradually being handed over from the ground to the launcher onboard computer. It will be at the end the onboard computer of Ariane 6, which will send the main engine ignition command and the booster ignition commands. And today, it's worth to mention, we have a 29 minutes launch window.
That's good to know. That gives us time to reschedule the launch if necessary within that 29 minutes. Now, the launch pad is just one of many facilities here at the base. We call the whole thing the range. That includes the tracking stations along the flight path. And I guess, Ariane, in a way, you could sort of compare it to an airport.
Yeah, that is an apt analogy, comparing it to an airport or air traffic control. Mission control, like an air traffic controller, they can give the final authority for takeoff or for grounding. So yeah, absolutely. They maintain tight control over the authorizations given to the launch vehicle to take off when the conditions are absolutely right.
And we have another control room here at the base, launch control. It's much closer to the pad. I guess you could think of it as the cockpit of the plane.
Yes, indeed, quite a busy cockpit, as you can see, given the size of the teams there. And they are inside a concrete bunker 5 kilometers away from the launch pad. These are the closest team to the launch pad, and they are the operational teams sending various commands to turn the launcher avionics on, to fill the propellant tanks, for instance, to pressurize the tanks, and to run all the planned tests step by step to confirm that the launcher is getting ready for launch. And we have behind them, behind a glass window, another team, the engineering team, who are monitoring all the operation closely. Here you can see them, making sure that all is happening as expected. They are checking many parameters, such as temperatures, pressures, electrical currents, both, of course, on the launcher rocket side, but also on the ground.
Lots of pilots in there,
Yeah.
in our cockpit. 2 minutes and 7 seconds now to launch. Laser focus, Ariane, as we get close.
Yes, we're seeing a lot of muted enthusiasm at this point. The teams are going to save their enthusiasm for the end of the mission. For now, everyone is focused on their job at hand, monitoring the health of these satellites and the status of the launch vehicle.
Quick word about the launch sequence, Samuel. We actually switched the engine on the main stage about 7 seconds before the boosters. Why is that?
So we have a two-step ignition sequence. We'll start first with the ignition of the main engine, so the Vulcain engine. We'll check during 7 seconds that it's working properly before actually sending the ignition order to the 4 boosters. Of course, once this is done, we will lift off quite quickly. In half a second, there will be the lift off, and this is because nothing is holding us back.
À tous de DDO, attention pour moins 1 minute. Top, H0-1 minute.
We are 1 minute to launch. Our very best wishes to all the teams and to the Amazon Leo satellites as they get ready to start their journey on board Ariane 64. Good luck, everyone.
Go Ariane 6 and Amazon Leo.
À tous de DDO, attention pour le décompte final. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, top. Allumage ESR et décollage. Propulseur nominal, le pilotage est calme. La trajectoire est nominale. Pilotage calme. La trajectoire est calme, les paramètres à bord sont nominaux.
The next 32 satellites.
Propulsion nominal.
The next 32 satellites for
Pilotage
Amazon
calme.
Leo have started their journey on board the first Ariane 6 with 4 boosters. Wow. And that was a
La
beautiful
trajectoire est
launch.
nominale, les
What a
paramètres à bord sont nominaux.
Magnificent liftoff. We can hear Ariane 6 passing by and feel the walls shaking. Wow.
It's taken just around a minute and a half for the sound to get to us.
How powerful that was.
Looking here
Pilotage
at
calme.
the coast of the Amazon rainforest, the coast of French Guiana moving away from us. Those are the onboard cameras. I'm guessing that's the river Kourou, that line on the land that we can see. You can see the clouds moving away behind us. We are burning 5 engines. We ignited them all on the ground, but the boosters are doing all the work for us right now, aren't they?
Most of the work, yeah, indeed, as you said. So remember that the weight of the launcher was 870 tons on ground, and so 90% of the thrust is delivered by the
Propulsion nominal.
boosters. They'll burn 142 tons in 2 minutes 25 seconds. So we are actually burning 4 tons of propellant each second now.
Séparation des ESR.
And we just had confirmation of the boosters separation.
We're seeing the images from the live cameras a few seconds later, and that's perfectly normal. That's for technical reasons. But look, that's how it looks. And they're falling away in perfect formation.
Yeah, and this is to be precisely set and analyzed and checked because, of course, you need the boosters to be jettisoned quite quickly, but not well in a mastered way to avoid any collision, any risk. Wow, nice shot from the onboard cameras.
Our planet Earth. And the next big moment on the left-hand side of your screen, you can see the events coming up, will be the jettisoning of the fairing. That's the nose cone, if you like, of the rocket,
Séparation des
which is
coiffes.
protecting our satellites. And we've had confirmation that that's now been separated. We'll see the images hopefully on the camera.
So it was long fairing today, first flight for these 2 halves, 20 meters. Oh, you can see the fairing being jettisoned here.
And as you can see how it flexes as it falls. That's all part of the plan.
Yes, indeed, and that's a beautiful movement, but it's due to the fact that it's designed to be as light as possible. But of course, when separated, the loads are pushing it, and it's being deformed due to its stiffness. This creates this movement, what we call a breathing mode. Nice breathing mode here. All designed to sustain that, of course.
Our altitude, 161 kilometers down at the bottom of the screen there. Our distance from the pad and our speed, vitesse is the French word for speed. At the moment, we're traveling at nearly 3 kilometers per second, everybody, per second. And the range operations manager is telling us that everything is going well and everything is going according to plan. Now, I'm rather hoping that Aaron is back with us because we sent him out to go and watch the launch with his own eyes on the terraces. Aaron, what was it like?
Oh, what a magnificent errand. It was like watching a second sunrise. I've never seen flames coming off an Ariane rocket like that. And it was a delight to watch the mighty Ariane 6 rise majestically from its throne before plunging into the vault of the heavens. It was astonishing.
I'm so glad you were able to go and see it, Aaron. It's very powerful, this beast, Ariane 64. So we're burning the main stage. Now you can just about see the sort of main stage at the bottom of the screen there of the rocket. It's, as Aaron was telling us earlier, it's a great big tank of fuel.
Yes, indeed, it's quite tall. You can't barely, well, you can guess, but from the onboard camera, it seems tall, but it's still 32-meter high, diameter 5.4 meter, and we are currently burning the 154 tons of liquid oxygen and hydrogen, as Aaron was discussing earlier. And why are we using these two? This is because the chemistry of these two elements makes that it's one of the most, let's say, fuel efficient combination that exists to convert that into thrust and hence velocity given to our passengers, the Amazon Leo satellites.
He's telling us that the propulsion is nominal, so everything's going well.
Yeah.
And we separated the boosters using cutting-edge technology called optopyro.
Yes, indeed. These are key technology based on laser pulses sent through optical fibers, and they are used to trigger key pyrotechnic events such as the booster separation, which we've just seen. And next step, and next they will be used for separating the main stage.
So we've just heard there from the range operations manager that we've picked up the signal at the tracking station SNA, he said, which is actually a naval tracking station. So as Aaron explained to us earlier, we're tracking the rocket using telemetry. There are ground stations dotted along our flight path, and the rocket's basically is talking to us. It's sending signals as it flies over. The naval tracking station, Aaron, it's in a boat, isn't it?
Yeah, the ground station is on the water. Kind of funny to say that, but yes, it's in the Atlantic, in an area that has a telemetry hole. So we send a boat to that area to track the rocket during its overflight. It has a 5-meter S-band antenna, and it's mounted on a stabilized platform. So if it's wavy, it can have a clear view of the rocket.
Coming up now to the next main event, which will be the extinction of the main engine.
Extinction Vulcain et fin de mission sauvegarde.
And we have confirmation there that the
Indeed, yeah.
Séparation
engine is switched
LLPM.
off.
It was just then confirmed that the main stage has been separated as well.
Allumage du moteur Vinci.
And I'm so sorry to interrupt you.
No, and I was to say that the Vinci engine has been fired up, and you can see from the onboard camera the separation of the main stage. Wow, it looks amazing. This again is a very precise step of the flight, and a very key step where you need this stage to be separated gently but quickly enough to ensure the Vinci can fire up.
It looks easy, but actually what's happening up there is unbelievably carefully planned. It's the result of very clever brains. And there he's telling us that everything is going normally. So the upper stage is now in charge. We can't actually see it on these shots, but Aaron, I kind of like to think of it as an orbital bus driver, because its job is to deliver our passengers to lots of different bus stops in space.
Again, another handy analogy. Yes, it's the bus driver. Everyone's not getting off at the same stop, but they're all headed in that direction.
Here you can see the Da Vinci nozzle on the right in orangish color.
The nozzle being the nozzle of the engine.
Yeah.
And the curvature of our planet there in the background, and the very thin blue line, of course, is the atmosphere, our gas mask. So the people who are monitoring all this right now are in what we call the CVI, the quick look telemetry team. The tracking stations are sending the data, relaying it to them. They actually are on a little mountain on the just outside the spaceport. It's called the Montagne des Pères, the Mountain of the Fathers.
And yeah, and they're collecting real-time data, which is sent by Ariane 6 back, of course, through the different stations we are talking. And this data can include the status of the engine, like the turbopump speed, for instance, the tank pressures, or the engine thrust, but also the trajectory, meaning where we are, our velocity, for instance. And they are comparing these live data to what was predicted, what was the plan. And this allows to continuously analyze the behavior and confirm that everything is as planned. Then they are sending a summary of this to the range operation manager, who is then sharing with everybody the recap of the situation.
Indeed, sharing that on their internal comms loop. And the different parts of the Ariane 6 rocket are built in Europe, but they're actually brought here on a boat, which is called Canopé. Ariane, it's really more than just a cargo ship, isn't it? It's quite revolutionary because it has sails.
Yeah, revolutionary. Everything old is new again. We're back to sails for transporting heavy items across the ocean. But the hybrid cargo vessel Canopé brought the Ariane 6 rocket components from France to French Guiana for the LEO-1 launch campaign. The ship carried the Ariane 6's core stage, the upper stage, and other critical hardware across the Atlantic to Europe's spaceport in Kourou. Canopé uses a hybrid propulsion system with 4 articulated rigid wing sails that can reduce fuel use and emissions by up to 35%. And the transatlantic voyage, which was kicked off December 5 in Bordeaux, was a major milestone in the Amazon Leo and Ariane Space partnership.
That sounds fun. Lots of good wines in Bordeaux.
Could be, yes.
And the ship can also, Canopé can also transport satellites.
Yes, indeed. Remember, we have transported Copernicus Sentinel-2C quite a long time ago, but it was on board Canopé. It was on board Canopé, and we have also requests from other customers to do so, to transport their satellite potentially from mainland Europe to French Guiana. Makes sense to transport them alongside Ariane 6 parts. Yeah.
So we just heard there from the range operations manager that we've now picked up the signal at the tracking station in Santa Maria. Our flight path takes us northeast from French Guiana. We're flying over Europe, heading towards Europe now. We'll be coming back down over India and then the west of Australia. Then we'll be coming back up again in northeast and heading back to South America. And Santa Maria is now locking onto the rocket's signal. It's a Portuguese island in the Azores, which is an archipelago in the Atlantic. And Ariane, it sounds absolutely beautiful. I had a look at some pictures actually the other day, and I'd quite like to go on holiday.
Yeah, it's very lovely, very warm and sunny in Santa Maria. To give a little geographical lesson, is the southernmost island of the Azores, known for its gentle hills and terraced vineyards and the only white sandy beaches in the archipelago. This tracking station is known as the Montes das Flores, the Hill of Flowers, and it's about 5 kilometers from the historic town of Vila do Porto, some 1,500 kilometers from Lisbon, the capital city of Portugal. And it was first used to track the launch of the European Space Agency's automated transfer vehicle, the Jules Verne, in 2008, the launch I was here for. And Jules Verne was a cargo resupply mission to the International Space Station, bringing critical elements to the station for the astronauts aboard.
I bet they would have been absolutely delighted when they received those things inside the Jules Verne cargo ship. Now we can see there the teams we were talking about earlier at the Galileo tracking station, the quick look telemetry teams here at the spaceport, analyzing the information coming in from the rocket. And on the bottom right-hand side of your screen, you can see there the upper stage. The white disk is actually the upper stage of the rocket, what's left of the rocket. To the right of it, we can see our satellites, our 32 Amazon LEO satellites attached to the dispenser. And then to the left of the upper stage, you can see there the blue flame is actually the engine, because the upper stage has a very powerful engine. It's called Vinci. Pretty sophisticated piece of kit.
Pretty complex and good piece of engineering here. It's actually a big innovation for Ariane 6 because it gives mission key mission flexibility, let's say it like this. It's designed to switch on and off, and this up to 4 times. So it allows us to take different spacecraft to a super wide range of orbits. Low Earth orbit, like for today's mission, but also we can target higher orbits, like medium Earth orbit, as we did for Galileo mission last year, or even higher altitude to geostationary orbits at 36,000 kilometers, but also for we can use it for exploration or scientific missions. So see a super wide range of targets. And it's the first of Ariane rocket being equipped with this cryogenic engine that can switch on and off. And for this mission, as we said, we'll have 3 burns. Two of these burns will be used to separate precisely the Amazon LEO satellites on their orbit. And the last one, will be for deorbiting the stage. So the range operation manager saying is that it remains 3 minutes during the first boost of Vinci upper stage.
We're 208 kilometers above Earth, and so we've gone out of the range of the naval tracking station. Yep, 205 kilometers high, and our distance from the pad just over 4,000 kilometers. And our speed, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, 7 kilometers per second. Now that's what I call fast.
Yeah, super fast. This corresponds to more than 25,000 kilometers an hour. Pretty fast.
Yeah, I think we can safely say that's pretty fast. If you look at the top right of the screen now, our trajectory, the green line is the predicted trajectory, the white cross is the actual position of our rocket, our launcher. We've actually been climbing, and it looks like we've kind of gone over the top of the hill and coming back down the other side.
Yeah, kind of. We are still picking up speed from the Vinci upper stage because the boost is not over, but when we'll switch off the engine, indeed we'll have high velocity, but we'll be down the roller coaster, if you want. So we'll use that speed to climb the hill, to go up the roller coaster. And in other words, we'll translate velocity, meaning kinetic energy, into altitude, meaning potential energy.
Now, there's a real need for reliable connectivity. It doesn't matter where you are on Earth, you really want to be connected these days. He's telling us that everything's going normally. And low Earth orbit networks like Amazon LEO can deliver that.
Yeah.
Who will Amazon LEO help to connect, Aaron?
Well, you don't have to go that far to find poor internet. So sometimes it's just down the road. Take small businesses in rural France trying to compete in the digital economy, but struggling with unreliable connections, or fishing communities along Europe's northern coasts where reliable weather data and market prices can mean the difference between a successful catch that day or coming home empty-handed. There's mountain rescue teams in the Alps who need real-time coordination during emergencies, but have a hard time connecting. Small bed and breakfasts in remote Scotland, or Tunbridge Wells that can't offer guests the Wi-Fi they expect. Farmers in Spain who want to use precision agriculture tools but can't get the bandwidth to support them. In short, billions of people everywhere who live and work in places where geography and economics have made traditional infrastructure totally unfeasible.
Indeed. And Amazon Leo is built to address all of these use cases and more from a single
Extinction du
household.
moteur Vinci.
We had just confirmation of the switch off of the Vinci upper stage engine,
We have indeed.
which is good.
And that's really important. It's a very good sign. This is the first major step in reaching the desired orbit. So we are now coasting without the engine. We're in what we call the ballistic phase. That means what, traveling without propulsion?
Yes, indeed. We are on what we call an intermediate orbit. It's kind of an oval shape orbit, an ellipse. And the closest point of it to the Earth, to the ground, is 150 kilometers high. And the furthest point is 465 kilometers. So we'll use that velocity to climb the orbit to go to the furthest point. And this will take us around 52 minutes to climb that stair, if you want.
Orbite atteinte correcte. La propulsion est nominale.
So the range operation manager is confirmed that the orbit we have reached at that step is fully okay. It was the targeted one, which is a super good news.
Acquisition de la télémesure par la station Osagel.
And we have acquisition of signal at the tracking station in Osagel, which is in France, Aaron?
Yes, Issus Osagel. It's in the Haute-Garonne, south of Toulouse. The Pink City, which is the home of much of the French aerospace industry, a really significant place.
You can just see it there on the map. It's in southwest France, so we're now heading out over Europe. We're going to take a break while we climb the hill, and we're going to take a break for about 47 minutes now. So we're going to come back to you at about 5:54 GMT, Greenwich Mean Time. That's 2:54 here in Kourou and 12:54 in Washington. So don't go away. See you back here then.
See you there.
Propulsion nominale de l'APU. Fin de visibilité de la station Santa Maria. Propulsion nominale de l'APU, le pilotage est calme. Tous les paramètres à bord sont nominaux. Pilotage calme. Propulsion nominale, le pilotage est calme. Propulsion nominale de l'APU. Le pilotage est calme, les paramètres à bord sont normaux. Perte attendue de la télémesure. Fin de visibilité de la télémesure par la station Osagel. Réacquisition de la télémesure par TDRS. Pilotage calme. Pilotage calme. Propulsion nominale, le pilotage est calme. Propulsion nominale. Propulsion nominale. Réacquisition de la télémesure par TDRS. La propulsion est nominale. Les paramètres à bord sont normaux. La propulsion est toujours calme. Les paramètres à bord sont nominaux. Le pilotage est calme. Tous les paramètres à bord sont nominaux. Propulsion nominale, pilotage calme. Le pilotage est calme, propulsion nominale. Pilotage toujours calme, les paramètres à bord sont nominaux. Propulsion nominale de l'APU. Propulsion nominale, le pilotage est calme. Pilotage calme, propulsion nominale. Le pilotage est calme, les paramètres à bord sont nominaux. Propulsion nominale de l'APU. Propulsion nominale, pilotage calme. Pilotage calme, les paramètres à bord sont nominaux. Propulsion nominale de l'APU. Pilotage calme, les paramètres à bord sont nominaux. Propulsion nominale de l'APU. Propulsion nominale. Le pilotage est calme. Pilotage calme. À tous ceux de DDO dans le bocal, merci de faire moins de bruit. La mission se poursuit. Perte attendue de la télémesure. Acquisition de la télémesure par la station New Norcia. Propulsion est nominale, le pilotage est calme. Les paramètres à bord sont nominaux. La propulsion est calme. Perte attendue de la télémesure par la station Nounorcia. Le pilotage est calme. Acquisition de la télémesure par la station Awarua. Tous les paramètres à bord sont nominaux. Propulsion nominale de la PU. Propulsion nominale, le pilotage est calme. Le pilotage est calme, les paramètres à bord sont nominaux. Le vol se poursuit nominalement.
Hello again, welcome back to our live broadcast, Road to Space. We are transporting 32 Amazon Leo satellites on board what's left of the European rocket Ariane 64. We are coming to you live from the commentary box here in Mission Control. I'm with Samuel Rogers from Ariane Space, our rocket expert.
Great to be here still. Yeah.
And next to us is Aaron Lewis, also from Ariane Space. Good that you guys are still here with me. Aaron, during the break, we picked up the signal at the tracking station in New Zealand.
Yes, another of the tracking stations on the route in a very lovely place in a garden spot, Awarua. So hello to Awarua as we overfly that region. And also it was built. It was built for the Jules Verne mission in 2008.
Which, of course, was a cargo supply mission to the International Space Station.
That's right.
So the astronauts, I think, probably would have been very happy to have received their cargo coming through to them. We're coming up now to the next